Hello everyone, welcome to the next lecture of the series Placement Interview Questions on C Programming. I'm RVD and I'm really happy to see you all here. So before we move ahead, as usual the basic initial instructions. If at all you are watching the video without subscribing the channel, please don't do that. Do subscribe my channel. You can see the subscribe button right down there, and you can also hit the bell icon so that you'll be able to get all the alerts for my new videos. Fine. There are three playlists which are currently running, so it'll be good for you to explore all those playlists. Like we have a data structure course on data structure, which is in-depth explanation about the data structure concepts. Then we have placement interview questions on data structure, and the current one, that is placement interview questions on C programming. Okay, so do watch all the videos. If you like the videos, then do hit the like button, as well as do refer to your friends and colleagues who would be in a more need of good contents on data structure and C programming. Fine, so there are a lot of more videos to come on basic fundamental concepts and very tricky concepts as well. I'm looking forward to your support, so keep watching and keep supporting. Fine, so let's move on to the current video. So topic for today's video we would be having is what are the data types in C. And we've already started with the basics of C. I have mentioned some of the data types, and if at all you see my previous videos, I'd even explained how do we find the range of int data type. But now formally we will be looking at what are the data types in C, and that too we'll start with different types of data types. Okay, so to begin with, first let us try to understand that what exactly is the need of the data types, or what is the significance of the data types. Okay, so as all we know, whenever we start with taking up some problem and we start coding it, okay, we have to deal with different type of data. Like let that be, let's say, age of the person, I'll be storing with integer variable, or if I have number of elements, I'll be storing with integer variable. But if at all I want to store the height, then it requires fraction to be stored, so int won't help. Then we have to have a different type, that's called real type of data. So for storing that, we have different data type. Suppose I want to play around with characters, it is different. Suppose I want to store the gender of the person. So if I want to prefer like male and female to be stored, then it's a string. But if I want to store using only M and F, then it becomes a character. So all such things are leading to the need of the data types. So you can see during programming, we need to store different types of data. Okay, these are the examples I've already explained, just to tell you that the requirement of storing the data is not of the same type, but it keeps on changing. And to obviously do that, to store the different type of data, we have different data types provided by your C language. Fine, so let's go ahead and see what are the different types of data types. So if at all we talk about the different types of data types that is being provided by C, there are mainly three types of data types we can think of. The first one is called as fundamental data type. Okay, as the name suggests, we'll obviously elaborate more on that, but they are the fundamental data types. They are the available ones. We can directly use them. Okay, whereas if at all I want to do something like I want to extend the available data types to do something better, but not completely new as such, then that's called as derived data types. And the third one is obviously when you want to create something completely new, which will be suitable to your requirement, then that is called as user-defined data type. When I say user here, it is the user of the C programming language. It's like the developers. Okay, so C considers all of us as user because we are using that C language, and we actually code and we develop the program for the end user. Okay, so here when we say user defined data type, it is the developer or it is the coder who can create the data type of his or her own choice. Fine, so let's try to elaborate about the different types of data types that we have. So starting with the first one, that is fundamental data types. Okay, if at all you remember, you might have heard the names called built-in or inbuilt data types. Okay, if at all a language has to be written, the language has to provide its own set of data types. So such data types which are being provided readily by the language can be called as fundamental data types. Okay, so there are built-in data types. provided by C. Okay, and that is those data types are being called as fundamental data types. Now, uh, depending on the need, okay, of storing of the different types of data, these are the fundamental data types given by C. So there are four data types which are being given by C. We can say char, int, float, and double. Character for storing characters, char. Integer type of data, int. If I want to store like real data, real values, which obviously can have fractions, then that can be done by float and double. Anyways, we will be having a separate video where I will be focusing more on fundamental data types exclusively, which will give you even the memory requirement, the range, and all these things about the fundamental data types also. Okay, so you can look forward to that video also, where I'll be discussing about the fundamental data types. Okay, so that's the first and a very basic type of data type. We don't have to do anything; they are readily available. Okay, but if at all I take that and I try to extend it further, then that creates derived data types. Okay, so they are not they are not available, so they are not built-in data types, but they can be created using the built-in data types. Okay, so namely, if at all you know that collecting the elements together, I can make a collection of data that's called as array. So array can be considered as a derived data type. See, array is not a direct data type as such, but with the help of the available data types, I can create array very easily. Similarly, your pointer can also be considered as a derived data type, because I can create pointer using the available data types only. Right? So that's the basic reason. Array is a collection of fundamental data type. So that's the reason we consider that as what? Derived data type. Similarly, pointer also we create using fundamental, and that's the reason even pointer comes under derived data types. Now the third one is obviously user-defined data type. So let's see what is exactly the concept of user-defined data type. See, whenever we go ahead with any problem, we see that many a times all the available data types which are there are not of very significant use while doing the programming. So the user feels the need of maybe creating a different data type as such. And there comes the concept of user-defined data type. So user-defined data types are obviously based on the need of the user. So these are the data types created or defined by the user as per their need. Okay. These data types are temporary, obviously. So generally, it's not going to get by default added to the library of the programming language unless we specifically do that. So on a very daily basis, we can create and they will be available for the program in which they are being created. So once the program's over, that data type will not be recognized outside the program. The very typical examples of these types of user-defined data types are enumerated data type. Okay, there's a separate concept called enum. So enum keyword is there. It's a very restrictive way of creating a data type, but still it's there. I can collect maybe some set of values together, and I can try making my own data type. That's enumerated data type. And a very strong one, that is structure. So where I'll be able to collect the data of the dissimilar types together and try to create a separate structure as such. And union, which is a bit similar, but in case of union, we've got a different memory arrangements. Okay, but again, that can be designed by the user. So these are the data types which are possible to be designed by the user, or these are the ways by which user can create the own data types, and they are being called as user-defined data types. Okay, so I hope you're now clear about the different types of data types which are being provided by C language. Okay, just to summarize, the first one is fundamental or inbuilt, we can say. Second one is derived data types, and the third one is nothing but user-defined data types. Okay, so as I already said, more to come. I'll be elaborating these also in further videos, and more conceptual videos are going to be there in this playlist. So it's going to be a wonderful way to learn as well as make your fundamentals strong as far as C programming is concerned. Okay, so that's it in this video. Thank you and happy learning.